spell it backwards and everybody thinks I'm from India.
Forming a band was just an idea that was not gonna not happen. We were gonna do it.
We used to bang on the dashboard, like in traffic, like together doing that drum solo.
There's a few things in life I really love. Gardening and growing tomatoes, fishing, traveling, and playing music.
Miles, bless his heart. I love that guy.
Hi, we're LOWHUNS, and you're watching Band in Seattle.
Tonight on Band in Seattle, wild psychedelic rock and roll with too many influences to count from LOWHUNS, recorded live at Victory Studios. Band in Seattle, uncover the music that moves you.
This is SANOJ, SNIKSAH. I'm the singer and guitar player for LOWHUNS.
Hi, I'm Miles, PANTO, and I play guitar in LOWHUNS. Used to play banjo and guitar, kind of just become guitar.
Hi, my name's Crystal, and I play bass in the LOWHUNS.
Hi, I'm Michael Bear, and I'm the drummer and vocalist for LOWHUNS.
Oh, I don't know, but I've seen him around. Yeah, no, that ain't him. It's the salsa man. And he's here today, a guitar player getting your way. He is here today, a guitar player getting your way. He is here today, he is here today, baby.
My birth name is Jonas Haskins, but the bizarro name is SANOJ SNIKSAH. There was a skateboarder that I liked back in the 80s, and his name was Jeff Hedges, and he went by Fedge or something like that, which is a name spelled backwards. You know, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, it kind of breaks down that like, oh, you're some white guy, you know, playing guitar. It's like, oh, I can spell it backwards, and everybody thinks I'm from India. That I worked with. He had a studio, so I was like, you know, hey man, I got a couple song ideas I'm working on. He invited me over to his house, and I ended up with 4-song EP of mostly bass and bass tonally registered instruments. So I was like trying to come up with a name for the project. I had been reading a book, and there was a passage in the book that was talking about these wolves howling in this canyon, and I thought, well, Low Howls. And then I thought about that for a while. I was like, it's a little bit too hard to pronounce, and lower, and that was like LOWHUNS. It kind of fits the vibe of this record here. You know, it was, you know, when you're meditating, you might make a low hum, or to go to that like that calm space.
was a long time ago, but I had just joined a band called The Bad Things as a banjo player, and we had a practice space down in Georgetown.
It was a big, empty warehouse sort of thing, real cheap, and they needed another band to help share the rent, and so our band moved in there, and we would cross paths.
You know, we'd be finishing, they'd be coming in, and I would see him passing by, and he was a bass player at the time. And I told him, hey, yeah, I play guitar too, I'm not just a banjo player.
So we started, me and the drummer from his other band, The Bad Things, Steve, started having sort of a trio, you know, there together and jamming.
Him on bass, singing, playing bass, I'd play guitar with drums. Well, I could tell that Jonas actually wanted to play guitar as he sang, not play bass.
And I sort of switched over to guitar, and I was like, okay, well, this really his playing really complements what I'm doing.
And we just had a ton of fun and loved it, and just like forming a band was just an idea that was not gonna not happen. We were gonna do it.
After the break, you'll find out a whole lot more about LOWHUNS.
The sky was just the weirdest, unearthly color of red. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on?
We had a drummer for a while, and then it got into a point where we needed to sort of part ways. And so we had actually been playing drummerless for a number of months. And
I kind of knew Mike a tiny bit and knew that he had a cool place and that I should give him a try and call him. Went down and met him, and the first thing that struck me about him was just what a nice guy he was. And we just kind of became really quick friends.
we played with Mike, and it worked out, and he had a space, and he was, again, like really enthusiastic about playing.
And so Jonas asked me to play, and that was about 5 years ago. And I've done 2 full-length records and 2 EPs with them, and they're like, you know, some of my best friends, you know.
The second he joined, it was like, well, that was easy. There's another no-brainer. That's perfect.
Mom and I used to drive around and listen to the Beatles. And we would bang on the dashboard to the drum solo that Ringo does at the end of the album.
Sunflowers of Doom, we played a show over in Wenatchee, and they were having those fires. The sky was just the weirdest, unearthly color of red.
This sort of like eerie, post-apocalyptic, you know, thing that happens.
It's super fun to play. Nice, fast, you can dig in hard.
It's just straight up, straight ahead rock and roll, you know. I like that.
I love the energy of it.
Crystal, I met, she played in a band called Cabana, which LOWHUNS played with a couple of times. You know, I probably maybe said hello to her, you know, half a dozen times, but I was like, she's an awesome bass player. I didn't really think of it that much, although I sort of tucked that information in the file of my mind of cool bass players, and then we ended up needing a bass player, and Cabana had broken up, so she was the #1 person on my list, and so I just sort of called her.
He reached out that he was looking for another bass player, and at that time, my last band, Cabana, had broken up, and I wasn't really doing anything, and I just felt like it was a really good fit. I really liked the music.
The first time that Mike and Jonas jammed with Crystal, I was actually in Mexico, and I was kind of jealous. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? Who is this new bass player? And I had some ideas as far as like who our next bass player might be. So I was a little like, okay, well, I'll see how this goes, because they all seemed like their mind was pretty made up.
When I joined the band, he was out of the country at the time, and so I learned songs without him, and I was kind of intimidated to meet him. I was like, oh, who's this guy? You know, I don't really know if he's gonna like me or what he's like. But he's just such a cool guy, such a sweetheart.
And then as soon as I met and we played, I was like, oh yeah, like, she's awesome.
Would you like some berries? Oh, please, yes, please. How now do you use now berries? I said, oh, yes, please. Would you like some berries? Oh, please, yes.
We'll uncover more about LOWHUNS.
Get up in the morning and you put your guitar on and you just play it all day, and whenever you can, you just have your guitar on. Playing in bands or something almost my entire life. It's just like something I have to do. Like I just got to play the guitar and sing, and you know, that's my creative outlet, my craft and art, and I couldn't imagine not really doing it.
There's a few things in life I really love. Gardening and growing tomatoes, fishing, traveling, and playing music. And why would I want to give any one of those up ever? I mean, especially when I'm lucky enough to have a band like LOWHUNS that likes me as much as I like them, and we all get along, and it's really easy to write. I just can't imagine wanting to not do it.
My ambition for LOWHUNS is for it to just keep going as a band because it's great.
Being the newest, the most recent addition to the band, I haven't had the opportunity to go into the studio with them. So I would love to do that.
Most of the songs are written at home. You know, I'll write ideas and just record them into my phone on the voice memo. I don't really have a very fancy setup at home. I have a bunch of drum machines and a microphone and a guitar set up all the time, so I can go down and just come up with ideas or whatever whenever the mood strikes. You get up in the morning and you put your guitar on and you just play it all day, and whenever you can, you just have your guitar on.
Songwriting is super easy because we all have similar enough tastes, and we all have a lot of mutual respect for each other. So everyone's ideas end up making it in.
For the future of LOWHUNS, I'd really like to see us go to Europe and do some touring there.
We just picked up a European record label in Germany. I sent them the tracks and they're like, oh, this is really excellent, but it's only 30 minutes long. So they said, well, why don't we stick the EP on the end of it? And I was like, okay, great, I'm into that. And so it came out to a perfect 20 minutes of sides. You know, that's gonna come out probably in the spring, and then we're hoping to get over to Europe and play and tour and stuff over there. That's kind of our next sort of big goal.
So of course we're gonna go try to play over there, and you know, maybe that's our first step, and who knows where from there.
I'd love for us to go on tour to Europe. I would love for us to put out more records and record with maybe some producers that we look up to.
music that moved you tonight, go to bandinseattle.com where you can find out more about LOWHUNS and watch their full concert. Tune in next week to uncover more music that moves you on Band in Seattle.